So what was the question again? Oh, why is it called the traffic jam? Well, you know, the reason is, it's because I have two really cool cars. Seriously cool cars. And I love drifting, racing, because I am fast and slick, and plus I like to create a bit of traffic jam myself with a whole lot of great music. Bulumanaka, my name is Real, your host and DJ, right here on the Today FM Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 p.m. to 7. Right here on Today FM, today's hit music.
In the news tonight, 2-month deadline for ministries to clarify finances. FSC AGM scheduled next month after 4 years. And Health Ministry records 501 dengue cases. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate and this is FBC News. The Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Agriculture have been given 2 months to respond to specific questions on issues around procurement of medicines and the recent success rate of agro-based projects. The matters relate to the Auditor General's reports from 2007 to 2009. Ministry officials appeared before the Public Accounts Committee today. Maggie Boyle tells us more.
Summoned to explain themselves, the Ministry of Health first to front the Public Accounts Committee. There were a number of recurrent issues in their audited accounts between 2007 to 2009. According to the Auditor General's reports, the Health Ministry wasted close to $3 million on expired drugs.
Big issue about procurement of drugs, and the Auditor General has been highlighting this issue for the last 6 or 7 years. While we are satisfied that the Ministry of Health is currently undertaking a re-look at the strategies and re-engineering the way in which they're going to deal with this issue, we still have a lot of questions.
Committee Chair Professor Biman Prasad has directed the ministry to provide details of what their current procurement system is, the monetary value of expired drugs from 2010 to 2014, as well as where the drugs were sourced from. For agriculture, the prognosis was almost as dire. The AG reports highlighting a mediocre project success rate of 10%. While the Permanent Secretary Usaya Waimbuta explained their restraints, Prasad says taxpayers are being shortchanged.
Obviously, he raised concerns about the lack of resources, both in terms of the budgetary allocation, but also in terms of the capacity and the ability to deliver services to the farmers in this country. And as you heard today from the Auditor General's report, that about 80 to 90% of farmers that are supported by the Ministry of Agriculture don't eventually make it, and that means taxpayers are losing a lot of money.
Other issues highlighted for both the ministries include excessive expenditure, from the overpayment of salaries to the payment for incomplete capital works. The committee is expected to continue with submissions tomorrow. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation will disclose its financial standings for the last 3 years at its annual general meeting next month. This will be the first AGM in 4 years. Christopher Chand reports.
FSC is busy preparing documents for the annual general meeting, which will be held sometime next month at a venue to be confirmed soon.
And in that we will provide the audited reports of 2012, 2013 and 2014. And government's intention is still to take over 100% of all the shares of Fiji Sugar Corporation.
In 2010, FSC recorded a loss of $175 million, and in 2011, a loss of $36.5 million. FSC's finances are reported to have improved after that, but the figures are yet to be released.
Will be tabled come May and given to the shareholders, because we're still a public company, and obviously government is a majority shareholder in that company, so the government will get a copy of those reports as well.
The government has since 2013 showed its intention to take over 100% shares in the company. It currently owns 68% shares in FSC.
In my opinion, it's government that's actually put the dollars in to ensure that the industry survives. And it's only proper that they are the people that actually benefits once when the industry is to a level where we will be able to get to come 2017 to 2020.
The shares are expected to be sold at the most recent audited value. Data from the Fiji Bureau of Statistics indicate that the value of sugar exports increased by about 22% in 2014. The FSC is continuing to invest in improving milling efficiency and introducing higher yielding varieties of sugarcane to sustain the sugar industry. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
A former police officer has been found guilty of 3 counts of bribery by the Suva Magistrates Court. Setoki Taveta was charged by the Fiji Independent Commission Against Corruption. He is alleged to have accepted bribes totaling $1,650 from a tertiary student on different occasions in 2013. Taveta had arrested the student and interviewed him for allegedly receiving a stolen laptop. He then is alleged to have demanded bribes from the student. Taveta will be sentenced later. The Health Ministry has confirmed a total of 501 cases of dengue fever across the country up to last Thursday, and the lab at the Lambasa Hospital is currently confirming 2 to 3 cases daily. Shireen Lata has the details.
Lambasa Hospital is being kept busy with most of the dengue fever cases coming in from Maduata province. Dr. Mike Kama of the Ministry of Health says 378 cases have been reported in Maduata alone. It's the highest number from any part of the country.
There has been some suspicion of deaths in the Northern Division. We haven't received anything at our headquarters, our administration section in the Health Information Unit on deaths at the moment. So we have not been notified on any cases or any deaths so far.
Reports of these cases prompted cleanup campaigns in various centers. The ministry has also introduced guppies in stagnant water at a settlement in Suva. Kama says it's a biological process which helps eradicate dengue-carrying mosquitoes.
We have trialed the integrated vector management strategy, and it's just for the ministry to review its benefits or its outcomes, and we'll see how we will apply it to the general population or to the communities around Fiji. So that is yet to come.
47 cases have been recorded in the Central Division, while 56 cases have been recorded in West. The ministry is urging the public to destroy mosquito breeding places like stagnant water in pot plants and tires and use mosquito repellent. Shireen Lata, FBC News.
Coming up after the break, Fiji exports sugar to Korea for the very first time.
Bula FM nambandua na serena iwan siningona ni batara ni sibiti ko weekend na diwa en na tini na miniti na may bakuriti ora beng grabe na nantang nongo kanda na dapat ko ani na kaloko en ay kamen din debo ni natay wali ni may dapat ko na wani matakabo kan leb serti ko na biser talio ni na namaka do batat ko may kina na kenan daw ro di kanamaki Bula binaka Leo salamilawa do batak kiya na batara na wani dio na kaloko moni tiki na barumbuka en ang Bula FM nambandua en na serena
The Fiji Sugar Corporation is exporting a small quantity of its sugar to its newest market in Korea. FSC will be shipping close to 8,000 tons of sugar to Korea and 128,000 tons to Tate and Lyle. The sugar company continues to search for new markets and is currently exploring opportunities in Indonesia, Malaysia and in the Middle East. With Fiji's sugar quota to the European Union coming to an end in September 2017, Fiji will need to look for attractive markets.
Last year we sold them about 66 tons, which they use a part of that for their marketing strategy. And this year they've come back wanting between 7,000 to 8,000 tons from now until August. And if that works out okay, we could see maybe a shipload of 30,000 to 40,000 tons a year going into Korea.
The World Health Organization will introduce a new model to tackle non-communicable diseases in the country. The model, called a Package of Essential Non-Communicable Disease Prevention at Primary Care Level, or PEN, is aimed at increasing the level of services offered by health experts. Julie Vatwaliwali has the details.
Changes in lifestyle like tobacco use, physical inactivity, unhealthy diet, and the harmful use of alcohol have contributed to the high rates of non-communicable disease. NCDs, or chronic disease like diabetes, cancer, and chronic respiratory diseases are the biggest killer. The Health Ministry NCD advisor, Dr. Isimeli Tukano, hopes the new model PEN will greatly assist in the reduction of NCDs.
In PEN, when the nurses test you, screen you and say you have an abnormal pressure, you have an abnormal sugar, will push you into that system. And in that system, there will be a dietitian who will talk about your diet. There will be a physiotherapist or somebody who will talk about your exercise, and the nurse will be the educator, plus the doctor.
PEN will be rolled out in 80 health centers and the 188 nursing stations. While PEN is expected to help combat NCDs, it has to be complemented with other strategies. Dr. Tukana says there has to be a change in mindset to live a healthy lifestyle.
For NCD, if you die prematurely, that means you've been sick for a while, say 15 to 20 years before you die. You have to get sick first before you die. That's the medical thinking. Yeah? And then you combine it. Right, to get sick, your lifestyle has to be hopeless first, which is why we go to the district school. Changing lifestyle, we want to start from children.
An important way to reduce NCDs is to focus on lessening the risk factors associated with these diseases, as well as promoting the interventions to prevent and control them. Julie Vatwaluwali, FBC News.
The Education Ministry hopes to wrap up its investigation into the circumstances surrounding the death of Jasper Williams High School student Navneeta Devi by Friday. A team from Suva has been in Lautoka since last week, and Education Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says they visited the school again yesterday to gather more information. Devi died of self-inflicted burns about a fortnight ago. It's alleged that prior to her death, a teacher confiscated her phone and read her personal text messages to other teachers and students. The teacher has been suspended pending investigation. Meanwhile, police say they are finalizing details of the case before an inquest file is handed over to the resident magistrate for consideration. Fijians living in Vanua Levo will no longer have to come to Suva to get access to Level 2 certificates in various trades. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama has officially opened the Fiji Technical College Arya Samaj campus in Lambasa, where these students can now be pursued. Ali Kimbia reports.
It is these young people who will have another shot furthering their education right at the Technical College in their hometown. Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama says this is a good opportunity for young people in the north to achieve a viable and sustainable living.
To the parents I say, don't just encourage your child to only become a doctor, a lawyer or an engineer. If they show an aptitude or interest in a trade, encourage them to take that path.
With the government's determination to further enhance the development of the people in the north, Bainimarama says that short courses will also be available for the wider community.
Also urge members of the wider community to consider taking up the short courses that will also be available here in the evenings or on weekends, because these are providing basic skills that will improve your chances of getting a satisfying and well-paying job.
The Technical College of Fiji in Lambasa is one of 10 technical colleges that the Education Ministry has earmarked for opening around the country. The colleges will provide more people the opportunity to pursue studies closer to their homes. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The University of the South Pacific is organizing a fundraiser titled Vanuatu the Calling as part of their response to assist those left devastated by the effects of Tropical Cyclone Pam. The Oceania Center for Arts, Culture and Pacific Studies and the arts community are set to host an entertainment-packed extravaganza on Friday night in Suva. with performances from the likes of the Oceania Dance Theatre, Pacifica Voices Ensemble, USP Graduation Choir, Conservatorium of Music and various artists. The public will be kept entertained. Aerial performances from aerial dance guru Andrea Torres will also be showcased on the night. A fashion auction will also take place on the night. A musical composer Ingelese Ete is encouraging the public to attend the show.
It's got to be $10 for a ticket, and also there's a $50 VIP ticket. Now these tickets, they'll be sold at Kahawa Cafe and also at the Oceania Centre and also at Shopaholic. So please come along and support this. We really want to support Vanuatu, so it'll be an amazing, inspiring concert.
Vanuatu, the Calling fundraiser will take place on Friday at the USP Lavala campus. And sports is up next. Here's Jamie with the latest.
Thank you, Jackie. And while we're on the topic of Vanuatu, coming up in sports, Amical FC dedicated its bid at the OFC Champions League to its home nation, Vanuatu, and 2 schools to make its debut at this year's Coca-Cola Games. We'll have this and more after the break.
Gold FM, only the classic hits. Beautiful song from the group Firehouse and When I Look Into Your Eyes. Before that, you heard from Smokey Robinson with One Heartbeat. We'll take a short break and join us in the next hour for more music from Seal. Bulabanaga. I'm DJ Tora. Join me every weekdays, 7 until midnight on the Premium Classics. Right here on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
The Amical football team from Vanuatu is dedicating its performance in the Fiji Airways OFC Champions League to those affected by Tropical Cyclone Pam last month. Vanuatu was ravaged by the cyclone, and the footballers are using the tournament as a means to raise the spirits of its people. Josephine Navula reports.
There's not been an easy path for the Amical football side as Vanuatu continues to recover from Tropical Cyclone Pam. Most of these players had to put aside football to help with the recovery efforts.
We are here for represent the people of Vanuatu that, this tropical cyclone Pam is very difficult, and some players, stay in a very dangerous situation, and now we have to coming up and growing up together.
The side which played in the final last season wants to go one better in 2015, but understands fully this will not be an easy task.
The competition is changing, and now this pool play 3 matches in 1 week. 1 week is not easy for everybody.
Facing Western United from the Solomon Islands will see 2 of the most skillful clubs from the region go head-on.
Put the focus on the first game and start with maybe a good performance. We will do a good competition.
The opening match between Amical and Western United will be held on Saturday at 7 p.m. at the ANZ Stadium in Suva. And for sure, while football will be the major focus, the effects from back home will be on the minds of these players. Josephine Navula, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, another Vanuatu club, Tafea, also had its preparations hampered by the recent cyclone. The team is based in the Tafea province, one of the worst hit by the Category 5 cyclone.
The boys are not ready after Cyclone Pam. They're still working at home, and we have 2 weeks no training because the boys are fixed at home, and we have no playing ground to train. They are all damaged by Cyclone Pam, but we already recover slowly. And this time we here, the boys are ready for the tournament.
Tafea plays Hekari United from Papua New Guinea in its opening match on Sunday in Suva. 2 schools will participate in the Coca-Cola Games for the first time this year. The new inclusions and preparations underway promise to make the 2015 competition more exciting for athletes and spectators alike. Tsalen Daudakadaka reports.
It's great news for the secondary school's athletics fraternity with the inclusion of Ratulalam Balavu Memorial School from Malolo and Nandi Christian Community School in this year's Coca-Cola Games. With registration still being finalized, organizers are yet to determine the number of athletes that will light up the track and field events during the two-day competition.
The entries are still coming in. In fact, there are 2 or 3 zones whose entries are yet to arrive. The others have arrived, so I'm not in a position to tell you exactly the number of athletes nor the number of schools that are coming in. Although I know that there are 2 new schools that have appeared.
Ticket sales are starting to gain momentum, and spectators are being advised to purchase early to avoid disappointment.
The tickets can be purchased from the Fiji Secondary School's office opposite the Peninsula Hotel in Suva, and also at the Fiji Sports Council. I believe the tickets are on sale at $30 a package deal for day 1 and day 2 for the grandstand, and in the embankment it's $12 per day.
The Fiji Sports Council believes the synthetic track at the ANZ Stadium will be more than ready to accommodate the hundreds of athletes at the Games.
Now that we have gone past 2 years, the track now is quite matured, meaning that in the first 2 years it's a really new track, synthetic track. So by now it should give the athletes a more stable running track.
Organizers are anticipating another successful competition when the Coke Games begins at the end of the month. Tsalendo Kavak, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, the Coke Games Torch Relay has arrived for the final stretch in Suva. The 10th anniversary of the Torch Relay has so far covered over 100 schools from Rambi, Ovalau, Vanua Levu to Nandarivatu and the Western Division as well. Today the relay covered 6 schools in Suva. The first was Suva Grammar.
As we come into the Suva leg of the relay, we are into the last day as we bring back the flame to the Coca-Cola factory. And as today we start off here at Suva Grammar, and then our next school is Cathedral Secondary before we will take the flame and take it back to the Coca-Cola factory, the home of the sponsors of the relay and the games.
The Coca-Cola Games will be held on April 24th and 25th in Suva. You can catch live coverage on FBC TV. The Sunny West Bowling Carnival has received over $50,000 worth of sponsorship for this year's event. Tournament organizer Rick Ayers says companies such as Fiji Airways, the Tano Group and Smugglers Cove, to name a few, have climbed on board to sponsor the competition. He adds international teams have also confirmed their participation.
We've got over 60 bowlers from overseas participating. So this event, the Sunny West, will not only promote the sport, but the country as a whole.
The 2015 Sunny West Bowling Carnival will be held from the 22nd to the 28th of next month at the Nandi Sports Club. That was your sports for this evening. It's back to Jackie now with business.
The Ministry for Public Enterprises today received a dividend check from Yangara Pastoral Company Limited of more than $1,048,000. The company made the initial payment of the first $3.3 million to the government as a dividend for the years 2011 to 2012. Today's check was the remainder.
I'd like to commend the great work that the chair and the CEO and the board has done on Yangara Pastoral Company Limited in terms of the financial status. If we look at the years 2011, 2012, the years in question on which we are receiving the dividends, there has been remarkable improvements in terms of revenue.
80% of the revenue was generated through beef sales between 2011 and 2012, with other enterprises being sugarcane and sheep. The group experienced generally fine weather apart from isolated afternoon showers being experienced over the eastern parts of the group. Nandi, Lautoka and Lambasa recorded the highest temperature at 32, while Savu had the lowest at 29. Fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, elsewhere fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers. Fine apart from brief showers over the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands is our further outlook. And recapping the main points. The Health and Agriculture Ministry have been given 2 months to clarify their finances. The Fiji Sugar Corporation will hold its annual general meeting next month after 4 years, and the Health Ministry has confirmed a total of 501 cases of dengue fever up until last Thursday. This week, we're asking in our poll segment, Do you think Fiji can win this year's Rugby Sevens World Series? Visit our FBC website to take part, www.fbc.com.fj. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You can also find us on YouTube, FBC TV 2011. And that's our bulletin today. Join the team again at the same time tomorrow. Till then, ni modamanda.